usual, let us start our Dhamma talk by saying Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. The title of today's Dhamma talk is Appamāda Dhamma, easy access to Nibbanā. I would like to expound this Dhamma under 2 headings. One is, one must be vigilant with mindfulness. And 2, one is liable to danger when heedless. Out of the 2, the first one is mindfulness Dhamma. Our Lord Buddha has admonished us to be mindful of one's bodily actions and all postures of walking, standing, sitting, and lying down. So also one should be mindful of the objects presenting to us through 6 sense doors, such as seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, and thoughts. Even the daily acts of personal hygiene should not be carried out heedlessly. Whenever the changing movements occur in the bodily actions, one should be fully aware and mindfully contemplate in accordance with the Lord Buddha's admonishment that one must be vigilant with mindfulness. There is no excess in mindfulness, but only lack of it. Then the second heading is, one is liable to danger when heedless. How? One will be tormented by old age, illness, death, and the woeful states and the 4 lower realms of Appamāda. One should remind oneself of such dangers to be vigilant with mindfulness. When one is fully accustomed to mindfulness and practice tranquility and insight meditation, one can attain progressive stages of insight knowledge and finally realize Nibbanā Dhamma. This exposition was delivered by our Lord Buddha while residing at Sayādaw monastery of Savatthi, at that time a capital in India, to one bhikkhu named Venerable Desa, who was practicing solitary retreat in the vicinity of Savatthi. During Buddha's time, as there were similar names, many bhikkhus having the name Desa, this particular bhikkhu was addressed as Nigamawasi Desa, meaning villager Desa. He possessed the following 4 outstanding virtues. 1. Apaichata, meaning frugality, wanting little, having only few wishes. 2. Santokkhita, satisfaction and happiness with whatever one possesses, in short, contentment. Then the third quality is Paviveta, meaning seclusion and detachment from individuals, mental defilements and psychophysical formations, Kaya Viveka, Ceta Viveka, and Upadi Viveka. And the 4th virtue about this Thera is Arada Virya, meaning striving, exerting oneself, making strenuous effort to free oneself from mental defilements. One who aspires for the attainment of Nibbanā should strive to subdue the craving for the possession of any mate and inanimate sense objects. One should be well contented with whatever one gets for a living. One should dwell free from individual associates and mental defilements. One should be able to exert with strenuous effort and unshakable resolution to meditate for the attainment of path, fruition and Nibbanā, Magga, Phala and Nibbanā. Venerable Nibbanā Desa, being endowed with the above-mentioned virtues, he was meditating ardently when our Lord Buddha delivered a Dhamma stanza beginning, Appamāda rato bhikkhu, pamāde bhayada siva, abhavo parihanaya Nibbanā siva santi. Meaning, a meditator, seeing one's disadvantage and heedlessness, indulge in mindfulness is not far from attainment of path and fruition, but an easy access to Nibbanā. Venerable Nibbanā Desa, with strong concentration on the arising and passing away of psychophysical phenomena, he developed into progressive insight, delivering him from all formations, enabling him to attain the four stages of noble path and fruition, culminating in the realization of perpetual bliss of Nibbanā Dhamma. In conclusion, I would like to wish you all Dhamma-loving meditators not to be heedless in mindfulness, insight meditation, and attain the ultimate reality and blissful Dhamma of Nibbanā with the cessation of all the psychophysical formations. Now, if you all have questions, you may ask. If no questions for the moment, let us discuss our topic about this Nama, Rupa and Five case, as we are doing in our last talk. Because as you can realize, in every talk, Buddha stressed to understand these, what is Nama and Rupa and Five case. Here too, he mentioned about psychophysical complex, meaning so-called a being or a person is just made up of psychic means mind, physical means this physical body, mind and matter, Nama and Rupa. Briefly speaking, so-called a person is just mind and matter. And if only you want to aggregate, we want to elaborate mental part, Nama, Buddha classify into outstanding four factors, and it becomes five aggregates. So they are all the same. So because we attach to these five aggregates or the psychophysical complex, what we call Nama and Rupa, as I, this is mine, and my atta or my ego. And this is the one we are to meditate and take up as object and meditate. So we must have thorough understanding from every aspect. That is how Buddha do. And every talk, according to, because he is so skillful in his Dhamma, and as I often said, he has a second power to survey its audiences, the inherent tendencies. If in the audience, if tendency is he has to speak as a person, Nama and Rupa, then he said just mention Nama and Rupa. And then his audience, if someone needs to elaborate his Nama and Rupa into five aggregates, he just mentioned five aggregates. But every topic on meditation will be concerned with this either Nama, Rupa or five aggregates. And giving meditation instruction, Buddha uses many vocabularies, like samajanya. Samajanya means clear comprehension. What are we to clearly comprehend? To clearly comprehend this so-called a person or a being is just made up of the psychophysical complex, which we call nama and rupa, this physical body and the mind. Or in some discourses, you may see yatha bhuta. You must see things as they really are. Meaning we are conditioned to see things in a conventional way. As a meditator or as a person who is bent to strive one's deliverance from this samsaric suffering, we must see things as they really are, not as they seem to be. So the word as they seem to be means in a conventional sense. Like when we see a person, it is easy for us and we are habituated to identify as that object as a man or a woman or a person. So also when we hear a sound, we always immediately what we verify is or identify is as a man's voice or a woman's voice, or it's a singing. So that is, it seems to be in the conventional sense not wrong, but this is because of the cause of attachment to that object. That's why yatha bhuta means we must see in the paramattha sense. So that is the meaning, and he used many ways and many aspects how to deal with these psychophysical phenomena of mind and mental objects arising and passing away. Then at the very first discourse, turning of the wheel or Dhamma Sutta, Noble Eifupa. Noble Eifupa is the method of meditation. These eightfold factors, if you group into three, Panya group, wisdom group is Samma Sankappa and Samma Ditti. Right thought and right understanding. Meaning what? The same thing. Right thought means you must incline your mind, or you must postpone. You must set yourself to understand the true nature of things, not as a conventional sense and a paramattha sense or ultimate reality. Then only your understanding or knowledge of you can be right. So Samma Sankappa and Samma Ditti. Right thought and right view means what? Same thing. To see things as they truly are, meaning in the paramattha sense or ultimate reality, not as they seem to be or in a conventional way. Conventional way we are conditioned or habituated from very unforeseeable beginning of our samsaric life. We've been falling around this samsara with this conventional usages as man, woman, human beings, animals, and so on. So in every way, that's what Buddha stress or emphasize for a person who is seeking deliverance from this samsaric suffering must have a right view, and he said as a Samma Ditti and Dhamma Sutta and Satipatthana Sutta, Samajanya, clear comprehension. And in many suttas, the yatha bhuta. Yatha bhuta means as they really are or as they truly are. Meaning we must turn ourselves from the habitual verification or identification of objects as in a conventional way to paramattha dhamma or ultimate reality. So when you practice meditation, the first insight, knowledge you must gain is nama rupa pariccheda jnana, meaning the discerning knowledge or understanding the difference between mind and matter. Because we, especially we human beings, because we are studying about ourselves, we are made up of mind and matter. Psychophysical complex means this physical body, and basing on that, that is mental energy. So the first distinguishing knowledge intellectually must be impressed in your mental system is this Nama-Rupa Pariccheda, the distinguishing knowledge between mind and matter. Not just superficial understanding of the theory or the fact. Whenever we see life, without any effort, we identify in a conventional way whenever we come into experience with the senses. So also, we must change our habit if one is bent on deliverance from this samsaric suffering, on these psychophysical complex or nama and rupa. We have many times repeatedly explained how to differentiate between mind and matter in theory as well as in your practice. Basically, let us start from below, from the basic understanding. Mind is not matter, matter is not mind, it's easy. If somebody asks you what is mind, it is not matter, never no matter. What is matter, never mind. So easy to remember. Mind is not matter, matter is not mind. What does not know is matter. What knows is mind, in simple language. Meaning the mind, it can experience the object. That's how we see or how we interpret, how we experience our environment and interpret our experience of sense with the sense. That is the meaning of life. So mind is a kind of energy like electrical energy or magnetic energy. It has got no substance, no matter in it. So we can only, by experience, we can identify this mind. Whereas rupa we can see or we can experience with our senses. So rupa, because it is made up of gross elements, so it's easy to identify. That's why when Buddha gave meditation object, he gave to start with material object first. And so also, according to his instruction, we give you all to see either rising, falling or sitting, touching. Because it is gross, you can easily see or feel or identify as an object. Some of you might have read in the Dhamma books or heard in the Dhamma talks the simile of a blind and a cripple about his Nama and Rupa. A blind person and a cripple, each individually, they are very difficult to exist, to lead their life alone. So the two consulted each other and agreed to compromise each other by cooperating. So as they have got to go for begging for food, so the blind person keep the crippled person on his shoulders and they walk about. So the crippled person, because he has eye, he can see everything as the true nature of things. And he directs the blind to walk this way to the place of charity or generosity, and they live a comfortable life. So also our body is like a blind person. This body knows nothing. But they give us support for like a cripple who has got good eyes, is like a nama. So this very by the simile. So mind is like a cripple. Without the body, it cannot arise. It has to be based on this material body for the mind to arise. So like a crippled person, alone he cannot move about anywhere without the body's support. So also the body, since it has got no sense of appreciation, experiencing object, It cannot exist alone. And Patana Buddha said, Rupino Dhamma Arupinam Dhammana Sayādaw Pachina Pachiyo. They have that peaceful or for mutual benefit, they coexisted together, one supporting the other. So the mind supporting the body, body supporting the mind. Like this simile of cripple and a blind. How do you identify in your meditation? That too I have many times verified for you. Like when you are noting rising, falling. Rising, falling is rupa, it is an element of motion. Vaya dhatu, one element. One element is a material phenomenon. And the mind that is noting is nama. Just now with this cripple and blind example. Abdomen, though it is moving up and down, it does not know that it is moving. Because it cannot know. It is just a material phenomenon, no cognitive faculty and this rupa. And the mind that is noting as rising and falling is knowing. So also now when you are doing walking meditation, the mind, the body that is walking is like a robot, or in our younger days there are puppet dolls. The operator pulling the string and the doll has to dance. But it does not know anything, it's just a doll, lifeless thing. So for this body is actually lifeless. Lifeless means it has got no power of cognition or experiencing sense organs. What is experiencing and understanding the object is the mind. So, taking the steps or the moving of the body is rupa, and the mind that is noting as either right step, left step, or lifting, putting down, lifting, moving, putting down, is rupa. Just rupa and nama, there is no person, no I involved in it. Just rupa and nama. So in intensive meditation we must stick to this ultimate reality. That is what is meant by Buddha, Sambhajanya, Yatha Buddha, or Dhamma deity. Because for Panyati or conventional sense, no one needs education. We are automatically, we can identify. We identify that way also. So when you are noting Dhammanupassana, like seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thoughts, like take up seeing, there must be object. Chakhuja, Patija, Rupeja, Upajati, Chakhu Vijnana, Dainan, Sangati, Paso. There must be sight or visual object. There must be eye sensitivity, eye. And when they come into contact, phasa, then seeing consciousness arises. And eye and the sight is rupa. Your eye cannot see. Eye is just instrumental to see. Seeing is by the mind. Just think seriously and just take practical inspection. You just look one thing. Now you may look at me. And if you try to think of the mind thinking some important thing of your personal affair, you don't see me though you may be looking at me. Because the eye is not seeing, the eye is just instrumental in seeing. The mind is that see. So since the mind is thinking somewhere, at the moment of thinking you cannot see anything. That shows that the eye is just rupa, being rupa, it cannot see. Seeing is ignorant. Chakhu Vijnana in technical term we call, meaning seeing consciousness. Consciousness means mind. The eye cannot see. The mind is the see. So now you are listening to me. If you only pay attention to me, attention means because you focus your mind, what we call in technical term advertence. Advertence means you adjust your ear or towards the sound, then only you can hear. As just now this seeing example. You may be listening here, but if your mind is thinking somewhere, you don't hear a word. You miss many of the Dhamma. That is what we call a concentration. Actually, mind is not in the present moment. So that shows that mind is the one that is experiencing objects like sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and thought, or mental objects. So that's how you can differentiate between mind and matter. And how do we identify this Rupa and Nama? First, let us identify Rupa. That I have many times explained to you. As you all are familiar, unit matter is composed of Mahabhuta, 4 great elements, of earth element, water element, fire element, and wind element. Earth element is solidity. So when you are meditating, when you feel or sense sensations or feeling of hardness, softness, roughness, smoothness, is the manifestation of Patavi Dhatu or earth element, because it is the characteristic of earth element. And while noting, you feel sometimes hot, sometimes cold, sometimes warm, and that is heat element. And when you are seeing motion, abdomen rising, falling, or some of you are practicing Anapana, air going in, going out. Air is wind element. And these like that. And when you go in and out, you feel warm or hot, heat element. Everywhere you can identify these 4. Element of motion is wind element. Heat and cold is heat element. Solidity is earth element. And fluidity is water element. When you feel tears trickling down, sweating, and when you go to the toilet, all these are Appamāda or water element. So by these characteristics, you can recognize, then you must verify or identify or incline the mind to see this ultimate reality. Basically, our matter is composed of these 4 elements. And our body, and Buddha, this is in Satipatthana Sutta, Kaya Nupassana, contemplation on the body. And Dhatu Manasikara Bhava, he classified the physical body into these 4 great elements. And Kaya Kadasati, 32 or 42 body parts. He elaborated Patavi Dhatu, earth element, into 20 parts, and Appamāda to 12 parts, 32. Teso is 4, and Vayo is 6, together 42 parts. Why do we need to analyze and see ourselves into these elements or parts? Because of tremendous benefit you are going to gain. That's why Buddha all the time urging us to see ourselves or other person's body with these elements and parts to eradicate. In our last talk we are talking about Sayādaw. To expel Sayādaw is a life and death problem. We must be able to enable one to expel Sayādaw. We had to analyze or dissect ourselves into these elements and body parts. How can we benefit by this Dhatu Manasikara or analysis of elements or body parts? Buddha gives a simile. A butcher or his assistant, when he's pulling a cow towards the slaughterhouse to be killed, on the way if somebody asks him, what are you pulling? He says, I'm pulling a cow. He's pulling a cow. He answers, I'm pulling a cow. Then he go to the slaughterhouse, he killed the animal and dissected into various parts, put into bundles like meat, foam, viscera. Then he brought back to the market or at a four-road junction, put on the table to sell. And if somebody go and ask, what are you selling? He won't say, I'm selling a cow. He say, I'm selling meat. Because he lost the concept of cow by dissecting into various parts. Now no more cow. So to expel Sakadati, as I have explained in our last talk, we take this Nama and Rupa or an elaborate faculties as I am somebody, I am a person, I am a man, so on. And so by deciding into elements, so-called a person is just 4 elements or in detail 32 or 42 parts of the body. And he lost this identity of a person or a self, like that butcher. Before he carry, anybody asks, he answer, I'm holding a cow. And after deciding and put into various bundles, if you go and ask, what are you selling? He say, I'm selling meat, not cow. He won't answer because he has lost the concept of the cow by deciding into various parts. That's why Buddha always admonished, Kahagata Sati is very beneficial, or this particular Manasikara Bhava or whatever the title is, meaning we see and identify in our meditation these 4 great elements that we are composed of, and we attach so much this body. We cherish, we nurture this body that we grasp or we cling to as I or mine. So that is why Buddha said it is a tremendous benefit to do these identifications, not just for fun. And Nama portion. Now, we have already discussed many times this Rupa portion or material part. How about the mental part of a being? Out of the psychophysical complex psychic part. Psychic part, Buddha elaborated for further understanding into 4 elements. Vedana. Vedana means sensation or feelings. That's why we human beings are called sentient beings. Sentient being means we can experience sensations. So that's why when you sit for some time, you feel sensations and feelings arising like aches, pains, tingling, numbness. Please don't take it as a problem. It is our nature to experience sensations. You welcome it, and to understand it, you observe it, not with hatred or aversion. To know its character, we take up as meditation object and know that is Vedana Nupassana. The first clear, because it is clear, Buddha isolated out. Actually, Vedana and Appamāda is Cetasika, mental fighter. And Appamāda Buddha elaborated, if you have a study Appamāda, 89 Cetas or 121 Cetas and 52 Cetasika mental fighters. Anyway, in our practical meditation, we need to know 1 Ceta and these 3 Cetasikas. These Cetasikas, the first one is Vedana, feeling or sensation. Then the second one element is Sanya. Pali word Sanya is translated as perception. So Vedana is experiencing feeling and sensations, and Sanya is. Here Sanya, some of you are confused, nothing to confuse. Sanya's function is to, easy word, to register any information presented to it and for future reference or memory, like most of you are familiar with computer working system. Feeding data to the computer for future, you call it, I think, technically they call it loading down for reference. So this is the Sanya work, like When we were infancy, when we started learning our environment, our family teach, oh, this is your daddy, this is your mommy, this is your brother, and we started learning and memorizing it. And next time when we see our mother, we are very happy, jovially. The small baby is laughing or smiling. And these are all sanya words. Sanya recognize. First, it registers characteristic to remember. Now to the moment you see like us, you know it is a monk. By this is a sanya word. The first time you see me, you knowingly or unknowingly, your mind is, this sanya has already registered my characteristics. And recently, if you see me again, you can at once identify, oh, this is Sunanda. That is sanya work. So the second mental fighter is sanya, or in English we translate as perception, perceiving it. So the third one is sankhara. Sankhara is active part of the mind that initiates both mental and physical phenomena or objects. In simple terms, we just call it a volition or intention. Like now, why you are paying attention to me? Because in your mind you intend to understand or to listen to me. That effort you are making is this sankhara. So this too is a mental fighter. So the last mental fighter, actually it is the mind, is vijnana. Vijnana means consciousness, the mind. As you all know, you all are familiar about Appamāda Dhamma. There are four Appamāda Dhamma. Rupa, this physical body, material body is Rupa. This one Appamāda Dhamma. Then Citta is mind. Cetasika is mental fighter or mental concomitants that arise together with the mind, like here, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara it is in Abhidhamma, it is Cetasika, mental fighter. And final overall consciousness, knowing is the mind by mind. And we call Vijnana or Citta, the mind. So these four are collectively, they constitute Nama portion of the basic one, Rupa and Nama. The first thing we must understand the being is Rupa and Nama, mind and the matter. So for those who want to elaborate for more understanding, this Nama can be recognized by these four categories. Then Rupa can be recognized by four categories of Patoya, Bodhi, Jovai. And Nama to be recognized by Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. So in your practical meditation, Rupa, I have already explained how to identify. The Nama, four Nama categories. Vedana can be discerned in three ways. One is Dukkha Vedana, that is very evident in every meditator experience. Dukkha means unpleasant sensation like aches, pains, tingling, numbness, stiffness and everything. Unpleasant feeling is easy to recognize because it is strong and very attracting to the mind. Another is when this subsides, we become comfortable. Sometimes sitting is good, no strong sensation arises. That is we call Sukha Vedana, pleasant sensations. Pleasant sensation is comparatively difficult to identify compared to Dukkha Vedana or unpleasant sensation. But you can know when the Dukkha Vedana change, like very strong pain, by persistently tolerating and noting the pain, then the pain decreases intensity and then it may fade away. Then you become comfortable. That is Sukha Vedana or pleasant sensation. And more difficult to identify is Adokama Sukha Vedana. And many books translate that as neutral feeling, or this is actually not very correct. It should be translated as neither pleasant nor unpleasant sensation. because it is so comfortable and so subtle, it is difficult to identify. Mostly meditators encounter this dukkha within our unpleasant sensation. It is easy to identify. Nibbanā